for August was for actual sales during June. And for the month, it was up 12.4% from last year for the same month. So year to date, we're up 7.3%, so that's great. Car rental tax for the same month is up 3% compared to the same month last year, so year to date, we're up 4%. And then I believe in each one of your spots, you got the little packet that has our old and new water system picture on it. This is the preliminary annual operating budget supplement. These are some of the items that we had discussed at the budget work session. There was no.
I heard that earlier. I did not see much of the retreat.
No, but we did 2 or 2 holes of the golf course, so it kind of felt like a retreat. We're out. Out there.
July break.
Exactly. So you'll see those packets there, and again, that only changes, those are all the pages that changed, and that's because we added the 8 months of the special events coordinator to the EDC budget, as well as we had told you that there was a missing property from our Glade Parks evaluation on the tax rolls. So of course your PID as well as your TERS funds for the Glade Parks area, both of those funds changed in there. And since I bring up PID, I just want to remind you that next meeting, you're going to have the public hearing on the assessment for the public improvement district out of Glade Parks. And just to let you know, with these new properties we've calculated, and we'll have the publication in the newspaper, I believe on Thursday or Friday of this week, that we're going to propose 11.8 cents for the PID this year. And just to remind you, in 2003, that was 59 cents per $100 valuation. Right now, it's 62.9 cents per $100 valuation, and so next year it's down to 11.8%. And that's because of all the increased value on the TERS side, we don't have to collect as much on the PID side. 2013, I'm sorry. 2013. There was a
Yeah, I
break there.
remember we established it in 2010.
That's all right. We're really long before it. So that's because of the increased valuations for that area that we're getting more on the TERS side of it. But again, that assessment is only for that Glade Parks area, that zone.
That's really important that has come down. That should continue to come down, and it's somewhat go away. But that is really relevant to the items on your agenda tonight when you're trying to attempt to sell the debt, which is Glade Parks, because the insurance that we have against the shortfall out there on that debt to protect our residents is that PID. So it will go away, but there's a shortfall in the future will come back. So that's when we own the Glade Park property that bought the property, understand full well that existed. So. Were you going to speak to the PID?
Pardon?
Were you going to speak to the PID?
No, sir.
No.
I don't even know what it is.
Oh, one other thing before Al, what did you talk about? Oh, the capital project. Correct something that was said earlier in response to Mr. Byman's question about the grass. Bart, you want to talk about that?
Yes.
He always likes to tell me I'm wrong, so I was wrong.
I just going to read y'all directly from the ordinance. The exception to the landscape watering in stage 1 is for foundations, for new plantings, which is defined as first year, of shrubs and trees, and they may be watered on any day by a handheld hose, drip irrigation, or a soaker hose.
But not a sprinkler system.
But not a sprinkler system.
So sod is not given an exception.
I mean, we have generally interpreted that. I mean, it does not say sod, but the big kid we have always done is that handheld hose or a soaker hose, which is absolutely, yeah, handheld hose, drip irrigation, or soaker hose.
Gary, I think you need to buy a soaker hose.
It's not
Sure.
Well, I let the impression that, or said you do a sprinkler system, you cannot do it, so just clarify that. Mr. Craner, what about the capital project?
Give you an update on some of our projects. And Glade Parks, as we're moving through that, we did have an interesting meeting with Dave and Buster's this afternoon, about 1 o'clock. They came in and wanted to chat, make sure that we were moving ahead on what we promised that we would do. And I think they left our meeting at least confident that the roadways and the water sewer and everything that they need for their building will be provided by the city in a timely fashion. This is our bridge, and actually it's more complete than it looks. The bridge deck is completely done, the approaches to it. You can actually drive across it. If you're driving straight, you'd be all right, but if you happen to go off one side or the other, that's a good drop to the creek there. The barrier rails are being held up because of, I think there's 56 pedestrian packs that go in the side wall of that bridge. Those are on order, won't be here until the end of the month. And then it'll take another month to finish the columns and the stonework, and we should be ready to open the bridge at that point.
Where pedestrian paths?
There's a sidewalk that goes across both sides, and those actually are little lights, decorative lights that will actually light the sidewalk as you walk across.
I've asked, and this, because y'all may be wondering the same thing, that does not look like the bridge is depicted, but it will be, I mean, you cut it out, I may be getting there, but that, those arch kind of deals, the stonework and the towers, they will be there.
The towers will be constructed, the stonework, but the stonework will be a false, you'll still have the straight edge, but the stonework won't be straight going across the beams there. Where from, now, if you were standing right up to it, it would look like this, but if you're away from it, it's going to look like similar to this. Our light fixtures are being were designed and built by a firm over in Fort Worth and are almost completed now. And those light fixtures are 6 feet across and 3 feet wide and stand about 5 feet tall. They're going to be pretty significant. And did I break? Here is the southern end of the project, and you see the concrete curve is in. We are waiting on the street lights from Encore. They're due in on the 16th of September, and hopefully they'll be here when they're said they will be. This is the pavers, that almost all the pavers are in place. There's a little bit of median work that you can see there that has not been done. This is the northern feature, the sign and little pool. That is complete, other than we need to get power to it and put water in it. But that's an attractive feature. And there's one on the south side that I don't have a picture to, south end, and it's actually, all the stonework is done, and they should be putting the sign in that feature pretty soon. Brazos has begun. Completion on this is the 12th of December. Again, meeting the schedule that we promised David Buster's that we would meet. They're actually ahead of schedule. We're actually putting in water and sewer lines now, which was David Buster's main concern. Here's where they've done the grading. And this is the gas pad site that's out there that's actually under construction as well. They're bringing in earth to build that pad up. This is Brazos at 121. We're getting ready, Seneca is getting ready to actually finish that up where we'll be able to, we could, if we wanted to, if we had street lights on the rest of it, could actually drive from north to south coming out here before the bridge. And we hope to have that in the next couple of weeks where that would actually extend to that and could be opened up where we could traverse that whole street. Again, just more of the intersect, that's the Brazos intersection there.
So now as we get closer, will there just be barricades there to keep people from traveling?
Correct.
Through there?
This is the public streets being done by Jackson for the residential portion. We are very close to actually starting our walkthrough on punching that out. So it won't be too long before we'll start seeing hopefully some vertical work going up here. This is the lower end of the retaining wall, or the foundation for the retaining wall on the southern end. There'll actually be a wall on top of this wall. Cullen Drive, we are looking from south to north, and we are almost finished with one complete side. Tomorrow, it's supposed to actually do the southern end, the northern end, and which is this right here. We have to do a thickened section for the state. They require asphalt at a certain depth and then concrete. And we hopefully will be placing the concrete on this asphalt tomorrow. And then we'll turn around and do the other side. El Camino, we started that project where we're replacing that water line. We've done several hundred feet on this. It just began a week or two ago. And I like this picture because it actually has a tracer where we can actually find the water line when we need to, that little blue strip down through there. That's what we need on the whole water line, so they don't know what happened. Riverwalk, the Dominion. I thought this was a neat picture we took out there. You see the construction that's going on there. It's just amazing, the houses that are going up in that area. But I love the airport in the rear. And my engineer that took it, he's about 6'4", but I thought, how did you do that? You're not that tall. Well, there's a dirt tile out there he used. And again, some of the features, these are the signposts and all that we'll have here, as well as Glade Park. And those have been installed all through that subdivision. This is phase, what I consider phase 2. I don't know what phase it actually is, Mike. It's not phase 2, though. This is the second piece. That's, yeah. And then this is the preserve across the road from there. And again, they're building their roads and they've done their plumbing, and it's quite an exercise there. You see all the activity going on. Gateway Court is, as far as we're concerned, is finished. We've tied into the street there. All the horizontal work is done. This is Dollar General.
Yes, sir.
And it's under construction. And again, we're watching the road work and the fire lane activity on this project as well. Our reclaimed water pump station, that project is pumping water to our customers. We've got at least one. We're working on 3 or 4 others. As you can see, this is where the pump station is located with their little pond, and we actually got reported fish being in that. Now, how they got there, I don't know, but we're moving well ahead on getting the punch list done on this. Our pump station, and there's the pond where the fish are. And the sidewalk to the right of the pump station was just put in. We'll actually come back and we got a little project going out for bid for landscaping. For this whole area to be landscaped, and then we'll take care of the part that's in front of the pump station. The Chesapeake, they will actually take back over the maintenance of the area adjacent to it. This sign is on West Park. They're actually constructing that, 183 contractor, and hopefully soon we'll be able to finish that, and then they'll do the landscaping, and that'll address that area. And that's all I've got on projects. Any questions of that?
How I know we want to ask a question, but I just want to get follow up on the bridge at Rio Grande and Mid-Cities, or Chief Park on that side, I guess. I know we have to maintain some of those trees in there for road control, but is there going to be a visibility, we're going to be able to see that bridge when it's completed, or that has to work?
From 121, you'll be able to see it fine.
Okay.
Right, if you're on the service road, when it's vegetated, it'll be, some of it won't be. The vertical features of that bridge are going to be tall enough you can see anytime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the arch that we were talking about, maybe not.
Okay.
And again, I don't know that we want to sacrifice the trees that are holding the soil and that thing, but I think it'll be seen, and it'll be a very attractive feature in that area. Can we talk a little bit about water? Water, the area reservoirs at 69%, which is not bad, but 3 months ago they were 70%. Richard Chambers is at 71 now, and a month ago it was at 74, so it's beginning to drop. Cedar Creek and Eagle Mountain's at 67 now. Cedar Creek still seems to be the one that's getting all the water And I was in a meeting today with Tarrant Regent, and Tarrant Regent is not predicting going out of stage 1 through the rest of the year, which is good for us. But the drought is still persisting throughout Texas, as we all know, but it seems like we're going to make it through. It's not going to stage 2. Any questions about water?
You know, if you pay any attention, it may be our boring lives because we do this, but if you pay attention to what other cities are doing on their budget proposals, nearly to a city, water is one of their major issues. And every city has something increasing the water levels.
Well, conservation's working, but the problem with that is you still got to pay for the system.
There was a large two-page write-up about the Richland Chambers in the Daily Oklahoma yesterday. I was reading along that paper. It was a big write-up about what we're doing in North Texas.
Any questions on any of that? Okay, then if we could look at the agenda. Seems like a lot of stuff on here, it's really just, and it's important stuff, but I don't think anything's taken on that. Ms. Jewel will give the information, and there's Alan Phelps, the mayor principal, and Alan Phelps, the region. Our employee of the month is Thomas Blankenship. Kyle will be presenting that, I'll be here. Demetri Washington, Senior 10, Mike Brown will be doing that. The quarterly public works report, Mr. Craner will be doing that. And the presentation of the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. Ms. Jewel will be there, and very nice staff.
I'm hoping that they'll be there.
It's a nice certificate this year.
Yes, ma'am. It's in a little
Very
bit.
nice. We don't accept it. That is a very, very good award, and it's something that we all think are proud of. Our consent agenda, item number 5 is resolution of 1439, authorizing us to apply for funding from the Texas Water Development Board. Chris, you want to say what that is? Ready to tell?
Yeah, y'all know that we talked to you previously about applying to the Texas Water Development Board for the no interest loan for this particular case is for the extension of the reclaimed water phase 2. So we have to go through the application process. Part of that process, we have to show the state that the governing body has granted the staff legal permission to seek that funding. So we'll go through the process. If we were successful at the end of the award, then that would give us the opportunity to seek that funding. I think we're right now, it's like 155 basis points.
Last I heard, 1.58%. There was some crazy nice interest rate that obviously changed days and maybe.
All this is doing is giving us the authority to make an application to the state, actually taking a loan. If we were invited to formally apply and were awarded to actually taking a loan, we can come back to the council with that.
And that also follows our capital improvement plan. It's not expediting, it's just putting it on. Item number 6 is authorizing city manager to execute a contract amendment to extend the interlocal agreement. This is on our hazardous material contract to Fort Worth. Anything on that of interest, Mr. Barker?
No, Betsy has been working on this, and it's the same thing that we've always done. The last time we signed a contract with Fort Worth, a little twist was put in there that would allow for these extensions without having to read the whole contract. So this is the version of the extensions, and it's the same rate that we've always paid, same terms, same conditions, same ability for our residents to go down to the Environmental Collection Center 364 days a year. I think Christmas Day they're closed. And then our 2 household hazardous waste events that we put on here at City Hall campus.
Item number 7 is renewal of bid 409-13 for asphalt street repairs to Reliable Paving. Anything on that panel of interest?
This is just a second option for us to be able to get somebody to do that before.
Questions on that? Item number 8 is renewal of RFP 007-13 for reinsurance coverage. Schedule. Anything on that?
It's the same vendor that we had last year. They agreed to renew It does include a 9% increase, which may seem like a lot compared to regular inflation, but that's actually below medical inflation. So we were very pleased with that, and they have also agreed to hold the deductible and the individual lasers, which that's very important because the individual lasers are an analysis of those very sick individuals that they can carve out and have a higher deductible on them. They've chosen to leave those deductibles the same. So we feel like this is the best deal that we can get, and we recommend the new one.
What's aggregating specifically?
There's two ones. We have a deductible on every individual that's covered of $100,000, and then we have an aggregating deductible of $110,000 for the group on top of that. So if you reach $100,000 and I reach $100,000, then collectively we have to continue to reach another $110,000 together before they start reimbursing.
Number 9 is approval of minutes. Both the 2024 regular meeting and special call meeting July 15th. Number 10 is authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute a second amendment to the purchase and lease agreement between Dallas Stars and the city of Euless.
Yes, we have explained these terms to you in the past, but this would allow the city to lease space within the facility. That's basically the concession area, the pro shop area, and some area upstairs that would allow for some additional recreation programming. It would also include an extension of the term for an additional 5 years. It includes a reduction in that rental that will be recouped obviously in that 5-year period. It maintains the escrow for the additional 5-year extension of the term. Then during that extension, then we would draw down the rental payments from the escrow so that at the end of the term, it's basically, it becomes nearly zero by the end of the term. That's about it.
Any questions on that? Mr. McDonald is, I got used to this new setup. I couldn't find Mr. McDonald, but he is working with some potential tenants for the concession operation as well as the pro shop, or the pro shop space. It may not actually be a pro shop. And what's that we brought to you all, there's a number of options that could be. So when we talk about the pro shop, we're only talking about the space, not necessarily. It could be someone running a pro shop, but it could also be someone running something else that's allowed out there. And it could be any number of things that would fit in. So he's working on that actively. And hopefully we'll have something made to soon. Any questions on that? Item number 11 is resolution 14-1438, authorizing publication of notice of intent to issue COs. The one we referenced a while ago, that is like that pilot third in the bid. Ms. Jewell, comments you got on that?
Nothing much more than just authorizes Kim to advertise this for October 14th consideration for that phase 2 and phase 3 program.
This is just following our typical schedule. The bond rating, after all the days, the schedule.
No.
We'll have a bond rating either on site here, or most likely by telephone, in the next few weeks. And that will be the way we'll use some of that. And again, this is just following the plan and part reimbursement of the funds that they've already advanced for the construction of the roads and all the improvements that I'm sure you all know. Number 12 is request for a temporary use permit from Jackson Construction for a portable batch plant west of Rio Grande. Mr. Collins, anything to note on that?
No, sir, they followed all of the technical requirements in terms of getting it permitted through the TCEQ, and they're ready to go.
Is this our third one out there?
Yeah, the one
Yes.
for the
Rio Grande, went from Hayhoff.
Seneca.
Seneca.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been any issue with any of them.
But it's really nobody around positive. Could be in better place, and you have to make for that job.
We actually let them, they're using a pad site that Seneca built for just the rises, so they didn't have to construction of it.
something that's been a lot of work for a lot of years, and it's been a long time in coming. The site plan for the Clay Park. So,
Mr. Craner gave you a good update on the Rio Grande and Brazos. That's obviously of significance to the overall development. There had been a question at one time when David Buster's, there was somebody in the audience wondering, well, what's the internal circulation? How can you get to this development? Obviously, you can get there from Cheeks-Barter, from Glade Road, from Heritage, and then the internal network, of course, of roadways. The area that we're talking about, of course, is shaded in the bluish-gray area. It'll be about 286,500 square feet of inline retail. You've heard us talk a lot about this, that it was part of the overall plan development that was master planned. We tried to create an opportunity through the ordinance that would enable the developer to come in, tell us the amount of square footage of building that he wanted to develop, and then we could expedite it through the site plan process, and it's working well, the process. I guess 2 points of emphasis that we perhaps not mentioned during the many times we've been able to discuss this with you is specific to the parking. Based on the required number of parking spaces, based on the square footage, they would have needed to have provided about 955 parking spaces. They're actually got about 1,383 parking spaces, so they're well over the minimum requirements that would be established for the parking. The second area is, yes, they're meeting all of the landscaping. In fact, they're exceeding the minimum landscaping requirements that were established as part of the ordinance. The green lines that are depicted, there's 6 of them throughout the parking lot. What that is designed to do is to create these 12-foot wide pedestrian paths that would enable you to get out of your car in the parking lot and go to any one of these 6 and walk yourself to the front of the store. There's a lot of different design elements that were incorporated into the overall PD to try to differentiate this commercial development perhaps from other developments that have already completed. And we think this is going to be a real nice amenity. The aesthetics are going to be real nice. It's going to be a combination of stamped and colored concrete. They'll have native drought-tolerant plants, bald cypress, red bud, some natural grasses, etc. Anyway, it should be a nice design element that will benefit the pedestrians and break up the monotony of those big parking lots. Cover everything you wanted me to?
I think, well, did you get to the elevation?
No, thank you very much. What's been done with the architectural design standards that y'all had adopted as part of the PD was with your perhaps anchor that might be some type of department store or soft goods store or whatever it is. You would allow them, because of the national branding identity associated with their architecture, to be able to incorporate those design elements into their facades. And on the site plan, is the southern portion here. These basically 2 big blocks would represent the potential for that department store soft good that you would see their architectural design elements be consistent with their national branding identity. And then as you move to the north and you get into the other inline retailers, that's where there is a vision book, of course, that was adopted as part of the PD that identified specific types of building materials, architectural design, features that would be the metal roof projections and the tower elements, the use of the natural stone elements that are kind of intended. Hal went over some of the design features with the bridge. It's kind of designed to get some relationship between everything to have some sense of place that you've arrived at the Glade Parks. I can tell you for sure that this site plan was submitted with the names of these end users on here. Zach Knudsen is the owner's representative that will be here this evening, and they'll have their engineer, and I think they've got 3 or 4 people with them, that if he may want to respond to any specific questions you might have about who's under lease. But what we can confirm for you is that's what was submitted with the site plan.
Okay, if there's questions from the audience, we can't confirm or deny any of those. All we're going to be saying is that's what they submitted. That's a lot of them have been on there for a long time, they probably will be there, but it's not our position to say that Kirkland is coming, retail is coming. Go retail. Okay, any questions? And I think we pointed this out to you in the work session, but one other thing, the site plan is part of the space. There is no specific allocation of space. I mean, that's the most, well, it's not even the most they can build, because they could go up. But it's going to fit in that space. But to say that, you know, retail there with an orange on the bottom right is going to be where it is, and other retail is going to be right there, that may be one store instead of two. But this representation is simply that they can meet, or they do meet the site development requirements for that amount of square footage.
With a little bit of flexibility, as you indicated, to modify the footprint that they can do through minor site plan revision and get it underway.
And the second story has to be, it can't be another store on top. There's no Euless Town Center type situation where you've got a common stairway to different businesses on top.
Exactly.
If it's a two-story building, it will be a two-story business. And from what we're told, that's not likely to occur. So, all right, any questions? Mike and his group have done a really, really good job. Jeffrey and Mr. Drew. It's something that y'all all be proud of is working on. Item number 14 is the board appointment for the Crime Control and Prevention District. This is off schedule seemingly for most of our board appointments, but that's because state law provides that they have to be made on September the 1st. So that's the only reason we're doing that. We're finding with the current members that are on there, they got to get to the appointment. Item number 15 is to hold a public hearing and consider approval of the Crime Control and Prevention District's budget for 2014-2015. Y'all heard this a couple of times. Ms. Jewell, for the audience, will provide basically a full rundown of that budget, and we'll hold a public hearing to take comments. And this is actually the final approval for that Crime Control and Prevention District budget. Again, it is off pace with the normal budget presentation or adoption, but it is what is provided in state law for that particular budget. You gotta wonder why they ever thought they'd do it that way, but even when we start, you have to start 100 days before the start of the fiscal year, so it's a strange calendar we have to follow. All right, the rest of this, again, there is kind of the Janina show. Item number 16 is to set a public hearing date for August the 26th for the proposed city building budget. And that's all we need to do on that one, is set that date. Item number 17 is to place a proposal to adopt the city of Euless ad valorem tax rate on September the 9th agenda. Kim and Janina have provided very specific language that needs to be in the motion. We have to declare what that proposed tax rate is, 6.75. But whoever makes that motion needs to follow this exact language. Now, obviously, that's not forcing you to set that tax rate. You can make it whatever you want to do. But if whatever tax rate we're going to propose, it has to be called out. Anyway, that's item number 17. Be careful. Item number 18 is to schedule public hearings on the proposed ad valorem tax rates. Those public hearings will occur, one on August 26th and one on September the 2nd. Please, remember that's September the 2nd meeting. We've got to have a quorum, it is required by law. So we hold this public hearing, it's at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, September the 2nd. So, it will be a rather abbreviated meeting, that's all that will be on there that evening, is, depending on the crowd, if there's no one there, we may abbreviate our presentation, but in general, we will, make a presentation and accept public comments. And then the adoption comes, determine that. We don't pre-council, it would just be normally, I think last year was around 30 minutes or so. Getting over. So that is it, folks. Any comments or questions on any of that? Very good. To tell you the truth, I think we can do without our closed session tonight. The real estate on South Pipeline Road is related to the Star Center. Again, if anyone has any questions or wants further information on that, that can be discussed in closed session. And of course, if any topic on here you want to determine, that kind of way to got a lot of good information, it's just not on topic. You're good neighbor. Okay, well then, we'll get back